Hello, this particular lesson we'll be talking about the constructivist learning theory. And the constructivist learning theory is a theory that sets that learners construct knowledge rather than they're just passively taking in information. And then as people experience the world and reflect upon those experiences, they build their own representations and incorporate new information into their pre-existing knowledge. So as a teacher instructs the students uses information based on what they already know, and they just kind of build upon that. The active learning strategy that I'm going to use is one of my favorites. It's called cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is an instructional method in which students work in small groups to accomplish a common learning goal with the guidance of the teacher. So we give them a goal, break them up into groups, and they have to work collaboratively to try to solve the problem. And me being teaching mathematics, they have to know a few prerequisites prior to this lesson. They need to know how to find the greatest common factor, and they need to know factor by grouping. These are two techniques that are used or were taught in previous lessons that will come about on occasion where they will have to use those techniques to factor a polynomial. The main goal here is that students will learn to work with each other by asking questions and problem solving together. So they need to work together in order to solve or factor these polynomials that I'm going to give them. The steps to the active learning strategy, basically what I like to do is I like to pair up the students in groups of 2 or 3, maybe a little more depending on the class size, and then there'll be a math problem posted on a piece of paper, and these papers will be posted all around the room, each having a different problem, and then each group will be assigned to the first problem. So for example, group 1 would be able to the first problem, number 1, and then the second group will be number 2, and then the groups will work on the problem for about 4 minutes, and when the time is up, I'll say rotate clockwise, and they will go to the next problem, repeat the process until all of their problems are solved in their notebook with all the solutions and process. And what I was going to say, the reflection. One of the big things that I like to reflect upon is that cooperative learning really helps development of higher level thinking. It really polishes up their oral communication skills, their self-management, and leadership skills. You know, student works together and knows how to do the problem. They tend to take over the group and make sure students know. They automatically gravitate towards that. I've seen that so many times where a student is high functioning and then they really do a good job in integrating themselves in the group with other students that may not have those skills. Also, it promotes student-faculty interaction. The students will interact with the teacher when necessary for questions or guidance, or if the group as a whole gets stuck, there's good interaction there with the teacher. And also a good increase in student retention. You know, they focus, they maintain the attention span that's required for the lesson. It's also a self-esteem booster, and also it gives them a sense of responsibility for their own learning. They take responsibility for their own learning, and it makes them a little more independent than teacher dependent, um, as sometimes you'll see on occasion. And last but not least, it's a good exposure to an increase in understanding of diverse perspectives. You know, they have to work with all different types of students from all different types of backgrounds and locations, and it'll give them a chance to get comfortable with each other and just learn from each other and accept each other in one big camaraderie in the classroom. And some of the student feedback, one of my favorites, is a great way to get out of our seats Students tend to like to be active sometimes, and it gives them the chance to burn some of that energy off by getting out of their seat, working on the problem. Also, this goes hand in hand, mingling with other students. As long as they stay on task and do the work, there's no problem with that. Asking their friends for help, good opportunity for them to work together, ask for help other than the teacher, and helps them work together as a group. They have to collaborate and work together and troubleshoot through the problem. And one of the biggest things here that it helps struggling students um, and shy students to get out of their comfort zone. So if you see a struggling student having a really difficult time, then the higher level functioning students will tend to intervene and kind of guide them and get them going where they need to be with the rest of the group. So it's kind of a win-win situation there. That's what we want to see, which is why when we pair up students, we want to pair them up with low functioning and high functioning together as much as you can, you'll see much better results. Well, I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thank you so much.